All right, welcome. Today, we are diving into a concept that's poised to totally reshape how you work, shop, and pretty much live your life. It's called the agentic economy. And the thinking is, it might just be the biggest economic shift since the internet itself. Let's get into it.
Just let that sink in for a moment. The research we're digging into today isn't just calling this a trend. The claim is that this transformation will actually dwarf the internet revolution, both in its sheer size and the speed at which it happens. So we're not talking about a new app here. We're talking about a complete rewiring of how our economy functions.
So what is the big shift, really? Well, for the last few decades, we've been in an era of telling computers exactly what to do, step by step, click by click. We are now entering an era of delegating high-level goals to AI that can act on its own. Our role is changing from being the operator of the machine to being the orchestrator of a whole team of intelligence systems.
To really get why this shift is so massive, we first need to appreciate the incredible foundation that it's all being built on.
Think about this. The internet boom that we all know kicked off with about 100 million users back in 1999. Today, we have a globally connected network of nearly 5.6 billion people. This is the fertile ground where these new AI agents can operate, collaborate, and scale almost instantly. For basically no cost, the stage is absolutely set for an explosion of activity.
And this leads to a really fundamental change in how we should even think about AI. We're moving past the idea of AI as just a clever tool and starting to see it as a true teammate. So what really makes an agentic AI different? Well, it's proactive. You don't give it a checklist. You give it a big, ambitious goal. Something like, hey, figure out how to optimize our entire supply chain to cut carbon emissions, but without letting costs go up by more than 5%. The agent then goes off and, on its own, plans and executes the steps to make that happen.
This chart really nails the difference from the kind of automation we're used to. See, traditional automation is rigid. It follows simple if this, then that rules. The agentic economy, on the other hand, is built on AI that can reason, adapt, and work all by itself. And here's the kicker. Because these agents can work together, their potential for growth isn't just linear, it's exponential.
But okay, this brings up a huge question, right? How in the world do you get millions of different AIs, all built by different companies, to work together without just creating total chaos? Well, that's where a whole new set of rules comes into play.
This is really the core technical puzzle we have to solve. For a true economy of agents to work, they need a shared framework, a way to talk to each other, a way to remember things, and a way to pay for things. And believe it or not, that framework is being built as we speak.
It all boils down to three pretty simple ideas. First, you got to give them a memory, using something called the Model Context Protocol, so they don't have the attention span of a goldfish. Second, you let them talk to each other with a common language, an agent-to-agent protocol. And third, and this is crucial, you let them pay for things securely by giving them their own digital wallets.
Okay, so here's a quick cheat sheet on the key tech. MCP is for memory, A2A is for communication, and then you have things like AP2 and ACP that create what are called cryptographic mandates. Now, don't let the name scare you. Just think of them as super secure digital permission slips that let an agent buy something on your behalf, safely and automatically, without you needing to be there.
Okay, so we've got the technology, we've got the rules of the road for these agents. So what happens when they start getting behind the wheel of our businesses?
This is a massive game changer. For the last 20 years, the internet has basically been an attention economy. Companies fight for your eyeballs, for your clicks, using ads. But in a world where your personal AI agent can instantly scan the entire market and find the absolute best product for you, well, ads start to become irrelevant. We're moving to what's called a preference economy, where the winners will be the companies whose products are simply the best at meeting your needs. And hey, this isn't just theory. We're already seeing it happen. Take insurance companies. The ones using AI agents to handle claims have already slashed processing times by 40%. And because it's faster and more accurate, guess what? Customer satisfaction has shot up by 15 points. It's a total win-win.
And of course, this is going to change our jobs. The whole focus shifts from doing the work to supervising the work. We're already seeing these new leadership roles pop up, like a chief agent officer, whose job will be to manage a company's entire fleet of AI agents.
But with all of this incredible new power comes a whole new class of risks. And these are risks we have to take very, very seriously. One of the biggest worries, especially for financial markets, is something called herding behavior. Just imagine thousands or millions of hyper-rational AI agents
all reading the same market data at the exact same millisecond. If they all decide to sell at once, their perfectly synchronized actions could trigger sudden, massive market swings, making things like flash crashes way more intense and common.
And herding is just one piece of the puzzle. Experts are already building guardrails for other risks. For instance, unbounded execution. That's where an agent gets stuck in a loop and, I don't know, accidentally orders 10,000 rubber chickens. That'll be handled with built-in spending caps and kill switches. And to stop emergent collusion, where agents might secretly teach each other how to rig prices, researchers are using intense ethical testing to find those flaws before they cause problems.
So I know this all might sound a little bit like science fiction, but how soon is this new world actually going to get here? Let's take a look at the roadmap.
The projections are frankly pretty aggressive. By 2027, that's just a few years from now, half of all routine knowledge work could be automated. By 2030, 3 out of 4 of the world's biggest companies are expected to be using agents in their core operations. And by 2035, this technology could be generating almost a third of all software revenue on the planet.
The economic prize here is just staggering. By 2035, the projected annual productivity gains from agentic AI are expected to hit $3 trillion. And let me be clear, that's not the total value of the market. That's the extra value created every single year.
And this all brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. The agentic economy promises a world of unbelievable efficiency and personalization. But as we hand over more and more of our daily decisions to these autonomous systems, we really have to ask ourselves who or what is ultimately in control. And that is the central challenge that we are all going to have to navigate in the decade to come.